Oh, yeah. Fuck. All right. Welcome to the Cream Zone. Time for some creamy cream. Late at night, baby. Feel those beats flow tonight. Hold on, I gotta share this on Twitter. I'm sure all of them really want to know if they're not busy destroying somebody else's life. Be right back. Gotta go cancel somebody.
You are not late. Welcome. You are just on time. A wizard arrives at precisely the time he determines. I forget what he says. What does Gandalf say? A wizard arrives precisely when he means to. He is never late. Do I read SCPs? What is your favorite? I don't really. I was told I should start a whole channel devoted to SCPs, but seems like quite a bit of effort that I don't know. Sometimes it's tough to kind of like get that going. You almost fell asleep? Well, maybe you're in a dream right now. You don't even realize it. The British accent. Did I even do a British accent? I was just doing like a late night
DJ accent. Whoa. We about to get lit, fam. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hope you hit more than 1K tonight. Yeah, that would be dope. I think that was just a special night, but we might be able to summon the powers of 1K. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Jennifer. It's good to see some green names in here. I'm sure that, there are plenty more up top that says, what is up? There's Asherella, Pam, Hannah, Sugar, Miss Molly, Brittany, Marie, Dr. John Smith, Venus Flytrap, and all the other beautiful people are here, and the 150 or so folks, but sound like Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, like the guy that was always on Howard Stern, or Beetlejuice, the one that's like, it's showtime. It's showtime. How old am I? I'm 30. 30 years old. 3-0. Just turned it, 1 month ago. Don't forget to hit that like button, people. I like where your head's at. Punch that like button directly in the lips. Right in those soft, juicy like lips. Or you could kiss the like button too. It's up to you. I wanted to stream earlier today, around like 3 hours ago, but Friday I handled myself pretty well for the drinking live stream for my birthday about a month ago, but then it's been about exactly a month for the 4th of July to drink, and I didn't handle myself so well on Friday night, and I woke up with quite a bit of vomiting and a lot of hangover that pretty much just kind of ruined the 4th for me, but not a big deal. 'Tis what it is. Extra spicy, baby. Oh yeah. And it's weird. I feel like now, like, hangovers take like a good 2 days to go away, But then I pretty much just slept a lot. Went to the gym earlier today, did lifting, but then I think it was because I walked to the gym and there was a lot of sun. When I got back, I was like so tired, I just like took a 3-hour nap, which I guess that's kind of what Sundays are for anyways, so kind of put a damper on starting things at a normal hour and or getting back to a normal sleep schedule, but no worries, never fear, never fear. Let's Read will never be late for hair. You drank way too much on the 4th, woke up fine somehow. No, that's good. Steve, you stayed sober, you were smart. Yes, the pickle juice was something that I did not hit appropriately until the next day. And I think this one was really stupid because we were drinking what's called Romans. So we had, Bud Light soy or whatever the fuck it was. And would take like a few sips and then dump a shot of vodka into the beer. And that's called a Roman, I guess. I don't even know. And in my mind, I thought, oh, I did so well in my birthday drinking. Maybe my liver's just like the most badass piece of sweet meat you've ever come across. But on the contrary, my friends, because mixing alcohol, beer, liquor, and then probably some deviled eggs was like the least wise decision I could ever make. You did shrooms on Canada Day? Nice. How was that? Did you have any epiphanies? Epiphanies? Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna drink, you might as well just stick to one thing, you know? Is Bud Light keto? It's not, but there are like Bud Light seltzers that you can get that are like super, super low sugar. And there's a lot of like options for sort of low carb alcohol. But Mr. Jensen is here. How are you, big boy? Big thick boy. There was a major power outage in multiple counties where I live, minus some surroundings, so most of the 4th of July was spent without electricity or freaking internet. Oh, that sucks. You had to go outside or some shit. 18 naked cowboys at Jensen's house. Oh shit, I didn't even realize. Michelle Maines, thank you for becoming a full-grown pizza. And a member of the Buttersock called. Say hello to Michelle, everybody. Snuck up on me there. Sometimes don't expect to get members this early in the Streamazor. There should be a join button by the subscribe button, and lots of people have to use laptops. Yes. Do I follow the keto diet? I do. I've come to find that whenever I don't consume a lot of grains and or carbohydrates, or in all of their various forms, whether it's bread or simple sugars, basically any form of like sugar, and try to like focus primarily on like meats and vegetables and substitutes for rice that could be like cauliflower rice or like broccoli rice and stuff like that. And it all seems to work perfectly fine. My tum-tum feels infinitely... James has diarrhea. That's good to know. My tummy feels infinitely better. I don't feel bloated. I don't really feel like my bowels are inflamed or bloated and I don't know. I feel like I just kind of like am in a better headspace, as odd as that sounds. I think there's like, as time goes on, like there's some like really interesting correlations between like people's mental health, the development of certain diseases within the body, the presence of only more recently have we started to discover that there's like serotonin receptors in your bowel, that a lot of the times like certain fungi, yeast and things like that can actually like bind to, and to a degree can actually connect directly to your brain and like tell you that you crave sugar, because in some ways this yeast, this fungus, is like trying to hijack your body and almost as a host. It almost reminds you of like Last of Us a little bit, but basically it's kind of interfering with a typical regulation of like those like feel-good chemicals that can assist with the perceived symptoms of depression and things of that nature. Yeah, the gut feeling is a real thing. Yeah, for sure. It's obviously I'm not going to give you all the answers right now in regards to that, but I just like, as I like research into keto, like, and learning about different things like yeast and fungus and stuff that can exist within your bowel, the creation of inflammation, and how a lot of cancers actually originate within the bowel. It's pretty interesting stuff, and I feel like diet is like way more important than we kind of give credit for it than we really look into sometimes. But at least for me personally, the thing that's like helped me as far as my training goes, weightlifting and stuff, and then also just generally not feeling like a bloated piece of shit after I eat. I don't know if anybody else gets that way, but like even just like basic stuff, you know, like afterwards, like you know, like I just don't feel that when I don't ingest copious carbohydrates. I can almost like ingest an equal volume of food, but like not feel a certain sense of like pain afterwards. Miss Molly with the 5 says, Joel, my love, long time no talk. Well, it's been a hot minute since I joined the stream. How are you tonight? I'm doing great. Feeling good today. Drinking some Wawa. It's hot in here. I'm definitely looking into trying to find the most powerful yet silent fan I can come across. I think that will amp up my stream game by 30 gamer points, pleasing all of you quite well. Angel Parish with 2 says, hey you. What are you up to, Angel? Monica Skyblock says, hi all. Sexy voice and smart. Kind of. Just depends. I mean, like, I think we all can be smart if we just, like, dig into a subject. And even though, like, I adhere to the sort of, like, positive benefits of keto, my, like, knowledge of, you know, the digestive system, like, certainly isn't going to be as comprehensive as I would hope to be, but that's mainly just because of my own sort of laziness. Hannah with the 20 freaking dollarinos says, thank you for your YouTube ship and your friendship. Everyone joined the Discord and liked the stream. Yes, thank you, Hannah. Goodness gracious. That is a big old dono there from you. Really, really generous. Thank you. You did not have to do that, my friend, but thank you. And yes, guys, join the Discord. Low key, no drama. We're chilling. There to just have a good time and discuss things. Create a little bit of a community as best we can. Angel with another buckaroo. Thank you, Angel.
Full-grown pizza.
Yesenia B. Martinez with the 2 from New Zealand. Oh, cool. Well, hello from New Zealand. With the fingers. They should make like the emote with the fingers poking together for that little bird that they use. Maria Lopez with the 10. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. And oh my god, it's Barbie has become a full-grown pizza and a member of the Buttersock cult. Thank you. Everybody, welcome Barbie. Lila with the buckaroony. It's got the black cat. Is that Pradeep? Discord low-key confusing. It can be if you're not used to it. Can I do your diet being vegetarian? Yeah, for sure. You know, vegetarians, yeah, I guess, well, you know, I'm kind of like spacing actually right now. I believe vegetarians don't try to avoid carbohydrates really that much. I actually feel like a lot of emphasis on their diet tends to be based around like the intake of carbohydrates because their proteins are consumed in the form of various legumes, I don't know, legumes, things of that nature, and you know, obviously getting a lot of your vitamins and minerals and different things from like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So it might be kind of hard, but I'm sure you could figure something out there. But yeah, keto is tough because it's like pretty much like the antithesis to like veganism, you know, whereas vegans are trying to avoid all animal products. Yeah, you could definitely do substitute your proteins for like, yeah, anything really. A lot of powders out there, soy proteins, pea proteins, all sorts of cool protein substitutes and stuff. But yeah, keto, I'm not saying keto is the answer for everybody. I'm just saying it works for me. And yeah, it is the antithesis to like veganism in the sense that it's like primarily animal products. And like a lot of fats and moderate proteins and things like that, which are like usually meats and vegetables and some cheeses and things of that nature. Jen San and Jen Father with the 5 buckaroonies says for Daddy Joel. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Jensen, what is poppin'? Did you blow some stuff up for Independence Day? Joel Juice is keto. That's very true. A lot of proteinies. Immortal. You like this silky smooth? Silky smooth. Make a groove. I got a hoove on my foot, 'cause I'm a horse. Of course. No remorse. Roman with the 2 says, hello from Cali. Love your voice. Nice. Roman, what time is it? I guess it's about almost 8 p.m. over there in Calais. I'm always, like, whenever I hang out with people in the Discord or from, like, the West Coast, I'm always, like, semi-jealous because I'm like, fuck, they're, like, 3 hours behind us, and But at the same time, I feel like there's probably a lot of people that kind of, like, I don't know, get a jump start to their day, perhaps, on the East Coast, maybe. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Smoochum, you work at a fireworks shop. That's sick. I feel like there's probably a lot of protocols there on trying to avoid anybody. They're like, I'm just going to have a cigarette in the back, and the whole thing just, like, blows up. Jensen says, the only thing I blew up was my rectum after some 4th of July Taco Bell. Hell yeah, dude. I'm a rapper now. I know. I'm going the ways of chills and corpsey. Corpsano. Is Pradeep sexy? You're goddamn right, Pradeep is sexy. He's always like, every time I look over, he's like always like he's on his back, like sprawled out with his like legs wide open, just like waiting for a rub down. I do find it really cute, like he legitimately like follows me everywhere I go. And I don't even know why. You would think he would just like maintain his like sleeping, but I'll go down to change the laundry and I'll look over and he's just like, he always like sits like in the areas of like halfway through doors. So he's like in the room with me, but also like watching out the door or something. I feel like he's keeping tabs. What's going on? You never know. Ram Ranch by Corpse Hubby. Yeah, Jensen, that was hilarious. Mischievous dogs. Are you guys being mischievous dogs tonight? Alex Mercer. That name sounds so familiar. Is that from that game, what the hell was that game? Prototype? Did you guys ever play Prototype? I always thought Prototype was interesting because, like, if you guys ever played Hulk Ultimate Destruction, it's, they pretty much use the exact, like, pretty much the everything copied, like, a lot of the same, like, the same engine, same animation systems and things like that, but they just transferred it over to, like, a human, but it's also, like, a lot more gory. But the Hulk Ultimate Destruction, I think, was probably one of my favorite superhero games. I know a lot of people like the Spider-Man games, and I do think that Spider-Man 2 was sick as fuck. It was awesome, and then obviously the newest Spider-Man was really good. I think Batman Arkham Asylum, those games were great. But I felt like the Hulk Ultimate Destruction was like one of those like sleeper cells that not everybody got a chance to like experience, and it was just so badass. You literally, it's a pretty much an open world game like Spider-Man, but you're just like fucking plowing through cars and shit, and just you can destroy whole buildings, and it's just badass. Do I enjoy showers in the dark? You know, that would be quite an interesting experience, I would imagine. Especially to do some sort of like sensory deprivation stuff, but I've always kind of been a big pussy fart when it comes to like the dark. Like someone turns out the lights on me in the shower, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, ree. Just fart and poop out of fear. Well, guys, we got a good night for you here tonight. Some really, really cool, kind of a change up of content, but I still think it's like within the same realm of the same sort of concept and staying true to the channel. it's going to be internet mysteries, but it's presented in a manner that I think you guys are very familiar with. It's going to be a lot of like cool internet mystery stuff that you guys have maybe heard about before, kind of within like the sort of strange recesses of the dark, deep dark web. Not necessarily the dark web, but yeah. Thanks for being here. Click that like button if you haven't already, and we're gonna be kicking this off. Share this out with your grandma. I know she's always like, why the fuck don't you ever send me Let's Read's stream? I want to get in there, hear that silky voice. It's oh shit, Brian. Holy shit, Brian. Brian Jameson with a $75 donation. Says, hope you had a nice chill weekends. Thanks for the great content as usual. Holy hell, Brian. Thank you so much. That is some serious Independence Day love right there. No, it was a fantastic weekend. Capping it out with you guys is always amazing as usual. And thank you for your generosity, Brian. I really appreciate that. Doing these streams just like you guys are supporting the channel so much, especially when YouTube is sometimes a little bit on the fritz with its perception of like controversial content. But thank you, Brian. Holy shizzers. That's given me big dick energy. I'm about to go into this shit. I have a boner! Yeah! Do I know anything about Abbotsford? Is that a place in the UK or is that in Australia? Because it sounds quite familiar. But we're going to switch over to our reading screen, done by the amazing Robin Mikalsen. Please reach out to him if you ever need thumbnails and or some 3D animation shiz done, because he's got your back on that at a very reasonable price. And boner, prove it. All right, you're going to want to go to the selfies, or not the selfie, you want to go to the Discord and click on the hashtag boner pics. I gotta remember, I'm like, my brain's spacing. You guys are just like overwhelmed me already with your incredible generosity. But what I wanted to do here is to switch over to our delectable Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse, as always, to accompany us in our ambiance. We'll do a very dark ambient Festivus. That sounds spooky. That sounds spooky. So spooky, I took a dookie. Jensen says, yeah, I've commissioned Robin multiple times. Always does the best work for a great price. I know, he really is. He's kind of a workhorse, also sort of a semi-genius. At least I would say. Just like his visions and his ability to, learn programs incredibly fast and then also be really proficient with them. And he's a really good guy too. Always in the chat on Discord, ready to befriendo. Nexpo. Is Nexpo here right now? What's he doing? What are you guys doing, step siblings? Yes, so tonight's theme is internet mysteries. Sort of a compilation of some of the strangest, most unsolved creepy crap from around the internet. And I'm hoping it goes well. I'm trying to think of like the title that I have tentatively for when I posted on Twitter earlier, which follow me on Twitter at Let's Read Creepy and Instagram at Let's Read.official. The tentative title that I have is 5 True Scary Internet Mystery Horror Stories. But I don't know, does that sound like kind of not where it should be? Or like maybe like 5 True Scary Internet Mystery, or I don't know. I'm just like trying to like title it something that's very similar to what you guys are familiar with, so that like people that may not have you know, because basically it's going to be the same kind of content, that like creepy stuff that's happened, but it's a little bit more in like documentary form, I guess you could say, not necessarily from like the first person, you know. Maybe I should do a Darwin Award special. Oh, where would I find all these Darwin Award winners at? Is that like a Reddit thing? Letty Ramos with the 2 says, thank you for reading. You're welcome, Letty. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the 2. Read it all in Chill's voice. So the first one is about Cicada 3301, which I'm fairly certain most of you guys might be familiar with, but yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's skedios. 5 incredibly true stories to make your ass cheeks clap. Blah, blah, blah. Internet stalker stories. Well, we'll get there eventually. We're always got stalker stories coming in, so... Creepy shrimp pasta. Yeah, got options. The internet is the most... Oh, shit. You know what I forgot to do? What I normally do is record like 10 seconds of silence. So we're going to take 10 seconds of silence for the people who are not here tonight with us. Ready? Okay, thank you. So basically I record the background a little bit. It doesn't pick up the music or anything because it's, not connected to that. It's just through the desktop. And then I can remove that background noise individually. When do I stream? Yeah, so my normal upload schedule for videos is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I stream the days prior to that. So Sunday, Tuesday, Thursdays, kind of at a later time, like 9 or 10. But yeah, we got 5 mysteries tonight. They're all pretty lengthy and girthy, so we'll be good. The internet is the most powerful informational tool the world has ever known. Although there is an almost endless torrent of misinformation uploaded and shared on a daily basis, the World Wide Web has become a database of knowledge and wisdom so vast that it would have the librarians of Alexandria awestruck. Yet, just as much as the internet can be enlightening, it also can be baffling and mysterious. And in the darkest of online corners, there are conundrums. And in the darkest of online corners, there are conundrums that can... Oh, okay. Yeah, I think they just forgot the word. And in the darkest of online... sorry. Someone's going to have to count my mistakes because they will be many tonight. I am already feeling it. And in the darkest of online corners, there are conundrums that can be as terrifying as they can be confusing. This is the story of one of those mysteries. This is the story of Cicada 3301. Dude, I actually just realized, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Cicada. I think I am. I think I've heard it before. I guess I don't need the 3301. Let's see. Does anybody know how often cicadas like appear? I forget. Is it like every 10 years?
Cicada.
Cicada. That'd be kind of a sweet name. And in the darkest of online corners, there are conundrums that can be as terrifying as they can be confusing. This is the story of one of those mysteries. This is the story of Cicada 3301. On a brisk January evening back in 2012, a 34-year-old Swedish computer analyst named Joel Eriksson was engaging in an online pastime familiar to many of us: procrastination. He'd had a long, grueling workday, straining his eyes as he peered over lines and lines of coding and was looking for something a little more inconsequential, something fun and lighthearted. Instead, he found something that would send him down a rabbit hole of epic proportions. Joel was browsing 4chan forums when he happened upon a message from an anonymous poster. It was written with stark white type against a black background, accompanied by a picture of a winged insect. The message read as follows: Hello. We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. There is a message hidden in this image. Find it, and it will lead you on the road to finding us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck. 3301. The number 3301 was the only identifier left by the poster. There was no name, no location, no organization to give Joel an idea as to who posted the message, or if it was at all legitimate. But still, Joel's interested... Shit. This guy has the same name as me. Suck her punch with a $5 says, Hi, I love falling asleep to your stories. You and Corpse are my fave. Keep up the good work. Much love. Thank you, Sucker Punch. Appreciate that. Has Corpse posted any stories recently? I haven't checked in on his page in a while. Hope he's doing okay. But still, Joel's interest... Sorry, there's like random spelling errors in here that just throw me off. But still, Joel's interest was instantly piqued. By his own admission, he was a computer security nerd and a skilled cryptographer in his own right. He knew enough to recognize that this was a classic example of what is known as digital stenography. Alright, let me actually... I think it's stenography, but I feel like I'm maybe saying that wrong.
Steganography.
Steganography, the practice of concealing messages or information within other non-secret text or data. Steganography, okay. He knew enough to recognize that this was a classic example of what is known as digital steganography, the careful concealment of furtive information within a digital file. Digital steganography is most often associated with image files such as JPEGs or any other pixelated image. For example, with such images, it is possible to change the color of every 50th or 100th pixel in order to retrieve or detect an entirely different image from what is considered to be randomized background noise. This is a technique more commonly used by organizations with considerably more nefarious ends, such as those in which traffic in illegal images or terrorism. Like in 2002, when intelligence officials suggested that agents of Al-Qaeda had planned the devastating 9/11 attacks. Like in 2002, when intelligence officials suggested that agents of Al-Qaeda had planned the devastating September 11th attacks via the auction site eBay using encrypting messages that were secreted inside digital photographs. Although it was late at night and Joel Erickson was exhausted after a long workday, he took the time to try his hand at decoding the messages from the mysterious user known only as 3301. Yet, after only 10 minutes or so of working through some of the more basic decryption techniques he knew of, Joel had seemingly made progress. He found a vague reference to the Tiberius Claudius Caesar. Tiberius Claudius. Alright, Alex. No more spammies, my friend. Shit's annoying. You brought some nice bath salts for everyone today. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
That'll get me going.
He found a vague reference to Tiberius Claudius Caesar, along with a line of apparently meaningless letters. Joel recognized this for what it was, a Caesar cipher, a method of encryption once used by Julius Caesar himself in some of his own personal correspondence. A relatively simple but ancient technique, it replaces characters by a letter a certain number of positions down the alphabet. Given that Claudius was the fourth emperor of the Roman Empire, the reference suggested that the number 4 may well be crucial to solving the puzzle. Keeping this in mind, it only took a short while longer before Joel found a web address concealed among in the image's code. With a smug feeling of fulfillment, Joel clicked the link. But the web address only led him to a picture of a duck, along with a goading message that read, "Whoops, just decoys this way. Looks like you can't guess how to get the message out." But Joel was not deterred. He often found that if a puzzle seemed too routine or easy to crack, that he would lose interest fast. Yet it seemed that this particular problem was much more challenging than he had been led to believe. Joel was now hooked, and although he didn't quite realize it at the time, he was embarking on one of the internet's most enduring puzzles, an online scavenger hunt that led thousands of An online scavenger hunt that led thousands of competing cryptographers across cyberspace to several real-world locations across the world and into previously uncharted areas of the so-called dark web. As it stands, the search for the truth behind Cicada 3301 has required an intimate familiarity with the occult, advanced number theory, cyberpunk literature, Mayan numerology, and even classical music. The epic puzzle has also included a mysterious, tuneless guitar ditty, a few lines from a poem, and most intriguingly, an enigmatic female known as Wind, who may or may not exist in real life. There was also an apparent clue left on a lamppost in the Hawaiian Islands, which gave those who wished to decipher the puzzle a crucial clue as to where the creators originated. There are many variables, but only one certainty: that no one really knows what Cicada 3301 is all about, or who is actually behind it. Various rumors tell of a secret society who use the puzzle to search for new members, but it is just as likely that it is a challenge laid out by some quasi-military body or government intelligence agency, such as the CIA or Britain's MI5, my bad. Oh, what's up, Brad? Welcome in. Winter, hello. And Alex E. is in the house, the assistant to the regional manager. Okay, where the fuck was I? Yes, sorry. It's a long sentence. It's a long sentence you got there, stepdaddy. Various rumors tell of a secret society who use the puzzle to search for new members, but it is just as likely that it is a challenge laid out by some quasi-military body or government intelligence agency, such as the CIA or Britain's MI5. For many, the Cicada puzzle is merely a piece of cerebral, albeit mysterious entertainment, nothing more than a kind of Sudoku puzzle for the more intellectually curious. But for other seekers, Cicada has become a dangerous obsession. More than 8 years after he discovered the puzzle, Joel Erickson is still trying to discern exactly what the whole thing means to him. Although one thing is clear to him, that's a battle of minds, a challenge so alluring that he finds it impossible to resist. Let's rewind for a moment to the night of January 5th, 2012, the night Joel read the decoy message which featured the included... You love freshly washed sheets and blankets. It is nice. You do feel much cleaner and much more not unclean. Alec, what's up, my dude? How's the party going? The Joel Parta. Let's rewind for a moment to the night of January 5th, 2012, the night Joel read the decoy message which featured the image of the duck. Interpreting the duck's derision as an actual clue unto itself, Erickson began to run the image through a decryption program known as Outguessed. That's when he made yet another breakthrough, discovering an additional concealed message, this one linking to another thread on the massively popular social media site Reddit. It was there that encrypted lines from a novel were being posted once every couple of hours, but Joel also found a series of unusual symbols, each comprising of several lines and dots. He copied and pasted them into a Google search bar, and the results showed that they were in fact Mayan numbers that comprised yet another cipher. Up until that point, none of the puzzles had required any truly advanced decryption expertise, which gave Joel the idea that this was nothing more than the work of a single anonymous trickster, playing an elaborate prank on the online communities he frequented. But the Mayan numerals changed everything for him. and led him to believe that the truth behind cicada ran far deeper and was far more shadowy than what? Sometimes the writing is almost a decipher in itself. Alexi with the 2 says, Sody Pop time. Hell yeah, brother. Even though all I have is water available, though. I do hope to use that dono for some Sody Pop ears. Sody Poppin'. Do you guys have any other streamers that you enjoy watching? I'd like to know who they are so I can go to their house and scare them. Just kidding. Crusty sheets. But the Mayan numerals changed everything for him, and led him to believe that the truth behind cicada ran far deeper, and was far more shadowy than he had first thought. The puzzles themselves had begun to mutate into several different directions, including hexadecimal characters, reverse engineering, and prime numbers. Pictures of the winged cicada, reminiscent of the Death's Head moth imagery in Thomas Harris's The Silence of the Lambs, had become a common theme. Joel believed that there could be no coincidence there, and began conducting his own research into the biology of the insect itself. He soon discovered that cicadas only emerged over a particular number of years, either 13 or 17, to avoid synchronizing with the life cycles of their natural predators. Being familiar with advanced mathematics, Joel instantly recognized the significance of this. They were prime numbers. Everything was beginning to come together. Joel poured himself into researching the other cryptic references posted on Reddit, discovering that some of the literary quotes were from a poem about King Arthur, taken from... I don't know how to say that word. The Mabinogion? If that's something that King Arthur wrote himself. Andreas with the 2 says, shout out to my girl... Emma and Burrito, shout out to you, my friends. No ill will whatsoever. Okay, the Mabinogion. I think they have the pronunciation.
Mabinogion.
Mabinogion. The Mabinogion. That sounded like erection. Mabinogion. The Erectiona. Okay. Joel poured himself into researching the other cryptic references posted on Reddit, discovering that some of the literary quotes were from a poem about King Arthur taken from the Mabinogion, a collection of pre-Christian medieval Welsh manuscripts, as well as a poem by cyberpunk writer William Gibson called Agrippa, a Book of the Dead. Written in 1992, the poem was infamous for the fact that it was only published on a series of 3.5-inch floppy disks that were programmed to erase themselves after being read only once. As word of Cicada 3301 spread online, thousands of amateur sleuths joined the hunt for clues. A veritable army of users from the 4chan forums, the place the first cicada message is thought to have appeared, pulled their collective intelligence into an attempt to crack the puzzle. And thanks to their mammoth efforts, a new message was discovered after studying the references taken from the Mabinogion. Robo Pete, I'm glad we can help you get some sleepies. Alright, let's see. I have to look up how to say that again. It is kind of nice that the Wikipedia has pronunciations here.
Mabinogion.
Mabinogion. And thanks to their mammoth efforts, a new message was discovered after studying the references taken from the Mabinogion. Call us, it read, at telephone number 214-390-9608. By the time the phone number. Eggs boy, good night to you. Hope you have a good sleepers. By the time the phone number was posted online, Joel Erickson had become so obsessed with the cicada puzzle that he had actually taken time off from his job to work on the puzzle full time. At present, the number is disconnected, but We know that the line was based in the state of Texas, and that those that called it were met by an answering machine message in which a robotic voice told seekers to find the prime numbers hidden in the original cicada image. They did so, and by multiplying them together, found a new prime and a new website, 845-145-127.com. A countdown clock and a huge picture of a winged cicada confirmed that they were indeed on the correct course. Joel found the scope and scale of the puzzle simply breathtaking, but unbelievably, the puzzle was about to prove even more thrilling for those who attempted to solve it. At noon, Eastern Seaboard Time. Is that a thing? Seaboard Time? I just want to make sure that it's actually a thing, because that would be... Seaboard Time. I hope to God that there... I was going to say, I don't think there's a seaboard time, unless that was just a massive typo. Big Drunken Nemesis with the tense is number 15. Slumber reads, you can never find it so scary until another narrator arrives on your doorstep. When Joel asked the chat, a user gave a name. Whoa, scary stuff. I'm confused. I do know the name Slumber Reads, though. I've heard Jensen mention them many a time. Yes, we are on story number 1 of 5 of these internet mysteries. What's the doomsday clock looking like nowadays? I don't know. We'll probably find out that it's been shut down. I assume there's no Eastern Seaboard Time. Doomed a bitch with a 2. Thanks, buddy. Okay, I assume it's not Seaboard Time. At noon, Eastern Standard Time on January 9th, 2012, the countdown clock on the mysterious website reached 0. It was then that 14 GPS coordinates from around the world were revealed. These referenced real-world locations in Poland, France, South Korea, as well as several places around the United States. Sat in his Swedish bedroom, Erickson pored over the data, waiting patiently as seekers around the globe. Seekers around the globe. Waiting patiently as seekers around the globe went to investigate the coordinates in their respective nations. Slowly but surely, reports came in of what they had found at each location. There had been a coordinated effort around the globe to attach posters to lampposts and walls. It was now blindly obvious that the cicada phenomenon was not merely the work of one ingenious, determined individual. There was a network of people behind this thing operating from the shadows. Each poster bore the same cicada image that had been found on the websites along with a QR code. Those are those small black and white barcode-style things that smartphone cameras can scan, taking the user to a specific website or downloadable application. Joel Erickson found the discovery absolutely thrilling, his suspicions of some kind of underground organization being suddenly confirmed by people all over the world. But who exactly these people were, or who they were working for, was this unnerving. But who exactly these people were, or who they were working for, was unnervingly clear. Ever since the first Cicada 3301 image first appeared, theories abound as to whom exactly was responsible. Many believe that Cicada may well be nothing more than an elaborate PR stunt, an unusual, intricate, alternate reality game designed by some multinational company whose endgame merely was to promote some new product. And there was a precedent for this. Precedent. And there was a precedent for this. In 2004, during the promotional effort for the video game Halo 2, Microsoft had coordinated what became known as the I Love Bees campaign. They used random payphones around the world to broadcast various episodes of a self-produced radio drama in the style of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. The campaign was well publicized and helped push millions of units for the company, so it is understandable that the cynics among the Cicada crowd chose to believe that the rabbit hole would come to a commercial dead end. However, there were certain details surrounding the Cicada puzzle which separated it from your average guerrilla advertising campaign. For example, It became obvious that some of those behind the puzzle itself were actively working to frustrate the efforts of those involved. You remember the woman known as Wind mentioned earlier? She claimed to be a cryptographer from Michigan who was actively engaged in solving the cicada puzzle, but over time, many noticed that she was apparently spreading misinformation in an apparent effort to throw people off the scent. Another detail is considerably more terrifying. A warning was posted by an anonymous user on the website Payspin, who claimed to be an ex-Cicada member and military officer who was recruited to the organization by one of the superior officers. The warning stated that the Cicada movement purported to be a progressive scientific organization, but was in fact a cabal of satanic worship, who practiced malevolent magical practices in order to secure vast personal power and wealth. Their ranks included powerful politicians, members of the armed forces, and leading academics who wished to manipulate the course of history in their own wicked vision. Yet, there was also persistent rumors that Cicada was a recruitment drive by the CIA, MI6. Wait, is there a difference between MI6 and MI5? Because they mentioned two of them. Maya B with the 2 says hello, hello Maya, welcome, welcome. How art thou? James Roberts still has diarrhea. Good. We needed kind of an update for that, and I'm glad we got it. I was getting worried. Probably one of the grander internet mysteries out there beyond Cicada 3301. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely go through some bowel changes, sure, under keto, but I definitely don't feel quite as bad. MI6. Let's see. I just want to make sure MI6 isn't like specifically like, I guess oh, okay. MI6, MI5. MI5 is British Security Service, while MI6 is the British Foreign Intelligence Service. Crudely, MI6 are our spies, while MI5 is there to catch their spies. It gets a little more complicated. Oh, Interesting, interesting. Suck her punch with a 10, says Lol. Can you please do your Chills white girl voice? It's my fave thing. Wait, Chills mixed with white girl. Is that, or is it just Chills comes off as a white girl voice? Can I do my voice while I'm waiting for my man out front? But thank you for the 10. I'm like trying to like, if you think of a sentence you want me to read, just at me and I'll do it. Maya, you're doing great. That's good. Shy boy, hello, hello. James Bond was MI6. Ah, I thought it. Yeah, for some reason I thought James Bond was part of like a fictional one, like MI7 or something like Men in Black or something like that. MIB. Yet there were also persistent rumors that Cicada was a recruitment drive by the CIA, MI6, or America's National Security Agency, as part of a search for highly talented code breakers. And again, there would be a well-documented precedent for this, because in 2010, the United States Air Force Cyber Command, the Americans' premier hacking defense force, secretly embedded a complex hexadecimal code in their new logo. Cyber Command Chief Lieutenant General Keith Alexander then challenged the world's code-breaking community to crack it. Yet it took the internet a mere 3 hours to crack the code, and was a major embarrassment for the organization. And in September of 2013, Great Britain's GCHQ launched the Can You Find It program, which consisted of a series of cryptic codes designed to find the next generation. If you have IBS, avoid wearing booty binkies. That's probably the best advice you could ever give. Eastern Seaboard Time is real? Oh, fuck, dude. I looked it up and it, like, corrected me. It was like, are you sure you don't mean Eastern Standard Time? Unless you're messing with me. I don't know. That's a pretty long ways back. Okay. Embarrassment, and then, which consists of a series of... Okay. And in September of 2013, Great Britain's GCHQ launched the Can You Find It program, which consisted of a series of cryptic codes designed to find the next generation of top-tier British cryptographers. Jane Jones, GCHQ's head of resourcing, stated that despite it being a puzzle designed to capture the imaginations of younger people, it was also a serious test, the rewards of which would be highly paid jobs that were vital to protecting the UK's national security interests. This kind of viral campaign had been a tried and tested method of recruitment and has been for many years. During World War II, the British government's top-secret government code and cipher school used crossword puzzles printed in the Daily Telegraph newspaper to identify potential candidates to break the Nazi Enigma machine. But many professional cryptographers were skeptical of the theories that the CIA or NSA were responsible for the cicada puzzle. Both organizations are extremely careful with security, and experts believe that since the puzzle originated on what is essentially an anarchic? Is that anarchy? Meredith with a 2 says, "Good night, spooky boy." Good night, Meredith. Sleep well. And Mommy of 3 boys with 3 says, "I'm waiting to see if Don't Fuck with Cats is one of your..." What do you... Oh, I see what you mean. It is not. I did not see that on there. I know that's like a Netflix thing.
Anarchic.
But it is not, no. Also, we're at 600 people, which is pretty dope. Both organizations are extremely careful with security, and experts believe that since the puzzle originated on what is essentially an anarchic internet forum, it was highly unlikely that the CIA and their ilk would want to attract those with a diminished respect for authority, let alone recruit them. But that leaves us with the possibility that certain private organizations, multinational corporations and the like, were behind the campaign in order to recruit those with a talent for what is known as black hat hacking. The proliferation of wireless devices, mobile telephones, e-commerce websites like Amazon, and chip and pin machines means the demand for cryptologists has never been higher. But there is one more group that we have yet to mention, who would certainly have the need to go fishing for talented hackers and codebreakers, the hacker group known as Anonymous. It is worth mentioning that the previously mentioned coordinates released by the Cicada Countdown website were all places that are home to some of the most talented hackers and hibernators. Suck Her Punch with another 5 says, "Quote your favorite meme or say pew 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 is a chopper." Lol, sorry, I'm like, that's okay. Damn, I don't know why I'm spacing on vines right now. It's your boy, Skinny Penis. That's a good one. Road work ahead. I sure hope it does. Mommy of 3 boys with 3 says, "Stories." Hell yeah. Thank you. Am I trying to say archaic? I am not. It's like anarchy, but like the descriptor, like adjective of like a culmination of people, like an anarchic, like an anarchaic. Jojo, you are now moderator, my friend. It is worth mentioning that the previously mentioned coordinates released by the Cicada Countdown website were all places that are home to some of the most talented hackers and cybersecurity experts in the world. When the QR codes left on the lampposts were decoded, a hidden message pointed people towards a Tor address. Tor, short for the Onion Router, is an obscure routing network that allows anonymous access to the so-called dark web, a huge shadowy section of the internet that cannot be accessed by run-of-the-mill search engines such as Google or Bing. The dark web is thought to be 5,000 times larger than the regular internet. Sorry, I don't know why I keep like getting the dark web is thought to, oh, okay, 5,000 times. I've never been on the dark web before. I've always been curious what the heck they got going on. Oh, Alex, I'm sorry. Shit. That's a good point. Alright, fuck it. Alex is mod too. The day has come. Honestly, I don't know where half the moderators go. They're like never here anymore. It is worth mentioning that the previously mentioned coordinates released by the Cicada Countdown website were all places that are home to some of the most talented hackers and cybersecurity experts in the world. When the QR codes left on the lampposts were decoded, a hidden message pointed people towards a Tor address. Tor, short for the Onion Router, is an obscure routing network that allows anonymous access to the so-called dark web, a huge shadowy section of the internet that cannot be accessed by run-of-the-mill search engines such as Google or Bing. The dark web is thought to be 5,000 times larger than the regular internet. It's in these recesses where you'll find human trafficking rings, black market drug markets, and terrorist networks. It's here where the Cicada rabbit hole came to a dead end. It seems like this particular dark web page was coded to only give access to a limited number of visitors, as, after a while, it closed down, replaced with the following message: "We want the best, not the followers." Those that access the website first receive personal emails which apparently ask for their complete secrecy in participating in private code-breaking trials. This has never been completely confirmed, but what we do know for certain is that a few weeks later... Oh, sorry, I realized that I need to stop talking. This has never been completely confirmed, but what we do know for certain is that a few weeks later, a new message from Cicada was posted on Reddit reading as follows: "Hello. We have now found the individuals we sought. Thus our month-long journey ends, for now." To the disappointment of thousands of fascinated seekers, the journey was over, and all hope of finding out the truth was lost. However, on January 4th of 2013, almost a year to the day since the original puzzle picture was posted on 4chan, a brand new image appeared. A new message in the same white text read, "Hello again. Our research..." Oops. Not research, just normal search. "Hello again. Our search for intelligent individuals now continues." Close study of the image would reveal yet another poem. This one from the book. Sorry, I keep like talking like the AI boy. Close study of the image would reveal yet another poem. This one from the book Liber Alvel Legis, a religious doctrine written by the infamous occultist and magician Aleister Crowley. This led to a downloadable file containing thousands of prime numbers along with an MP3 file, a song called The Instar Emergence by an artist known only as 3301, which begins with the sound of chirping cicadas. Detailed analysis of the song brought seekers to a bizarrely named Twitter account which pumped out random numbers, which in turn produced a gematria, an ancient Hebrew code table, but this time based on Anglo-Saxon runes. This led the solvers back into the dark web, where they found 7 new physical locations, from Texas to Japan and Russia, with yet more QR codes printed on insect-beating posters. The cycle had begun again. But still, we are no closer to knowing the source or fundamental purpose of Cicada 3301, but therein lies the terrifying scope and scale of the mystery. That is, it is almost impossible to know just who it is behind. Suck her punch with another $10 and he says, "Sorry for all the donos, but I always tune in and finally have some money to spare. Show some support." No, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Feel free. But thank you. Jesus, we are in the Buttersock cult. Is that cool? Jesus, can we confirm that you're chill with the Buttersock cult? You down with it? But still, we are no closer to knowing the source or a fundamental purpose. Okay. But still, we are no closer to knowing the source or fundamental purpose of Cicada 3301. But therein lies the terrifying scope and scale of the mystery, that it is almost impossible to know just who is behind it, and even more difficult to discern why. Whether or not it is the work of some shadowy cult-like organization, or something less nefarious, we might never know. But it is haunting to realize that there are dark curtains out there that most of us will never, ever get to look behind, with figures working away in dark basements and high-rise tower blocks on a mystery that may never, ever be solved. Jojo took his mod powers and left. Buttersuck cult. God, you humans are strange. Spady, it is a live stream. We're talking about spooky mysteries on the internet. On the interneties. Alright, so this next one's called Chip Chan. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Chip Chan. Tezka, thanks. Yeah, maybe I'll go to a con one day once, everything in the world's not completely shut down. Who just heard the transition music when he was done? You guys, now it's just like built into your head now. You have to make it. Wow, wow. Kind of sounds like one of those like foghorns. Chip Chan. Chippy Channy. Internet streaming services such as Twitch has had an astronomical rise over the past few years. Millions upon millions of viewers turn into a variety of live streams every day, which span a variety of subjects from video games and cooking to creepy story readings and practical jokers. And you might be forgiven for thinking that such things are relatively new, but as far back as 2008, there have been people live streaming the intimate details of their lives via webcams, and perhaps the creepiest and most intriguing of these live streams were focused around a woman known to many only as Chip Chan. On the anarchic internet forum 4chan is a webcam thread where users explore various open-source webcams and share the most interesting finds with their fellow users. Sometime during 2008, one user shared a webcam broadcast showing a woman lying in an extremely uncomfortable-looking position, and those that viewed it quickly speculated that she was dead, pondering over the idea of alerting the authorities to the apparent fact that a corpse was being live-streamed to views all over the world. But to the surprise of those watching, the woman apparently got up and had in fact been sleeping in this unusually uncomfortable position on her apartment floor for a very long period of time. This was one of the first things viewers noticed about this mysterious Asian woman, that she slept in abnormal ways, often either on the floor without a mattress or even sitting up in her computer chair, and did so at seemingly random times of the day, often for periods of more than 12 hours at a time. Those who frequented the 4chan webcam thread quickly became fascinated with her. One user even did enough research on her to find a WordPress blog that they discovered was actually written by the woman shown on the webcam, having matched up certain details of her life, such as the appearance of her apartment, her sleeping habits, and other such details. This in turn led them to several other blogs, apparently written by the same woman, which detailed some incredibly dark thoughts she seemed to harbor. The woman claimed she had been implanted with a kind of top-secret mind control weapon, which had been inserted into her body in the cartilage just 3 centimeters away from her left ankle blown. Ankle blown. In her left ankle blown. Gonna go find Pokimane. Levy, you're upset you weren't notified. Well, we are climbing, so that's good, and I guess people are getting more notified than usual. I kind of wonder to a degree if like YouTube doesn't really notify a lot of people like initially Or maybe they do notify initially and then they kind of gauge it, and then you have to like sort of build up an average. I have literally no concept or clue as to what YouTube does to like constitute them pushing out live streams to people, but 'tis what it is. Can't control it, I suppose. The woman claimed that she had been implanted with a kind of top-secret mind control weapon, which had been inserted into her body in the cartilage just 3 centimeters away from her left ankle bone. She also claimed that another microchip that had been implanted under her left eyebrow. This is apparently what led 4chan users to christen her with the name she is synonymous with today, Chip-chan. Soon, even more disturbing details began to emerge. Chip-chan asserted that she was being held hostage by a corrupt police officer, known only by the codename of P. In an attempt to prove this, she used various streaming sites to live stream her apartment on a daily basis, and has now been doing so for more than a decade. She does this by using a multitude of webcams set up throughout her apartment, which is filled with signs written in Korean. These are webcams which she is very obviously aware of, as she has been known to move them around or adjust them from time to time. The streams are accompanied by an audio clip where she in her own voice informs the viewer about P, the mind control weapon, and her situation, and many of the handwritten signs also inform the viewer of her particularly terrifying and unique situation. So we can conclude that she set these up herself, and they are unlikely to be a method by which the mysterious P is watching Chip-chan exclusively. She claimed that this mysterious P figure was also to use the microchip in order to keep her confined in her apartment, as the microchip gave him the ability to render her unconscious at any time. She also told viewers that the microchip, which she specifically calls a very chip, allows authorities to activate certain thought patterns in her brain, as well as giving them the ability to see through her eyes, as Chip-chan has often horrifyingly stated. Chip-chan has made it explicitly clear that she does not try to contact the police and has no intention of doing so for fear that the corrupt police officer P will find out and have her killed. She also has expressed that she needs her livestream viewers to help her deal with P by spreading the word and contacting a man named Park Sang-man, who is apparently the company director of Samsung Card, South Korea's largest credit card company. Chip-chan has a rather unkempt appearance, and her apartment is extremely disorganized. She also appears to be in very poor health, and it is evident from her extremely lethargic lifestyle that her health is suffering. Add that to the fact that she has outbreaks of skin rashes and often appears on webcam with wounds of unknown origin, which she regularly uploads pictures and videos of. She claims to have no idea where these wounds have come from, but suggests that they were related to the mind control devices inserted in her body. Since it is evident that she has been living this highly unusual and worrying way since at least 1999, viewers have often expressed concern for her mental health and general well-being. She is known to have responded to viewers via mail and comments on her blogs, but refuses to communicate via the chat functions on her streams. In each correspondence, Chip-chan makes it clear that there is nothing wrong with her, and that the shadowy, corrupt police officer P is entirely to blame for her situation. Further research has revealed that Chip-chan's real name is in fact Park Jae-an, and that she is a resident of Seoul, South Carolina. Oh, it's hot in here. Holy fuck. I don't know why, like, ever since I had my hangover, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten this, like, I noticed that my hands and my feet have been getting, like, tingly, as if though they're, like, falling asleep, even whenever, like, they're not in any various, like, precarious position that would otherwise cause your hands or feet to, like, fall asleep. And I don't know if that just means that I'm, like, my electrolytes are, like, wildly out of whack right now from my, vomiting that night, but I feel like I need some
Gatorade or some shit.
Speculated she has schizophrenia. Yeah, it kind of sounds like she's nuts. Yeah, we're at 700, baby. Yeah. I do need electrolytes. You know what? That's a great idea. I actually have like these little like capsules that are like electrolyte like capsules. So let me. Also, there's a police officer in my room. His name's P, and he's been giving me. He's pretty much kept me stuck in this room streaming for years. So keep an eye out for him. Help me with him, and I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Go crazy. Go stupid. I've grabbed the electrolytes, and I also picked up Pradeep with one arm and brought him in. So basically these, I mean, it has like B6 and B12, which I kind of like don't want right now, but it's got calcium, magnesium, zinc, chloride, sodium, potassium, which, fuck it, dude. Let's see. Yeah. Kind of annoying, like how you can get dehydrated so easy. Who would imagine that throwing up pretty much everything within your stomach from drinking whatever dehydrate you? That music was loud. What the fuck? Okay. Actually, wow, yeah, hydration is like, it'd be so sick if like you could just like check all of your blood tests at home. Keto does make you dehydrated. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I mean, carbs do kind of like hang on to water within your stomach, so you almost have to drink a lot of water. Wait, did I just go puke? No, I didn't go puke. I went to get water. And electrolyte capsules. Eat a hot pocket. That sounds pretty good. Alex is bonking. Everybody who's horny is getting bonked. Further research has revealed that Chip Chan's real name is in fact Park Jae-an, and that she is a resident of Seoul, South Carolina. Dude, I said it again. Why do I keep saying South Carolina? I drank last night. No, I drank Friday, but I like violently threw up because I drank so much and passed out on the bathroom floor. And then the rest of the day I was hungover and just like didn't do anything other than like sleep and drink water. And I think I just maintained my dehydration. I know, if I couldn't stop queefing up all my electrolytes. I'll drink water, peas on the floor. Bra Bras, what's up, buddy? How was the rest of your partay? Suck her punch with the 5 says, I feel you, that hangover thing I got crossfaded last night and still haven't recovered. I'm 22, Lamau, pray for me. With the PRUY, that's funny. Now I feel you. I don't know, it's like once I'm in a hungover mode, I just like can't get back into like party mode at all, or like fun times, because all I can think about is like sleeping and fucking being comfortable in my own space. But I did it to myself, so. But thank you for the 5. And mommy of 3 boys with the 5 says, I'm 10 seconds away from shoving a firework up someone's ass. They have been going off for the past month, and they leave them off until 3 in the morning. I know. I don't know if you heard or not, but Kid Rock saw his shadow, so that's 6 more weeks of fireworks. I'm sorry. Sharon bought me some tampons. Thank you. Thank you, Brob. And you almost died Saturday. Well, no, hey, there's Robin. What's up, Robin? Well, Brob, so me and Brob were friends IRL and stuff, and they had a bunch of people in town visiting this weekend, friends and stuff, and I was the idiot that got drunk on Friday rather than Saturday, but then Saturday they all went tubing in, down a stream, I guess, or river, creek thing, but like, I feel like it was hard enough trying to trans-navigate that water in kayaks where you actually had control of where you're going, and it still took a decent amount of time, you know what I mean? Especially from the midway point in which I believe you guys took off or launched from or whatever. And so I cannot imagine trying to do that with like shitty like inflatable pool tubes and shit, with like no... And it's not like it's, the one that does the sort of loop around or whatever. Stardust, what's up? And Brad Allen with the 5 says, I'm 10 seconds away from getting angry on the toilet. Oh, shit. Is that diarrhea or is that throw up? Or is that just general anger? Wasn't hard to navigate, just took really long. Yeah. I feel like you'd almost like need a paddle of some sort. Asherella says, I was supposed to go tubing on Saturday. I said that already, but it rained. Ah, shit. That sucks. That might have been intense, though. You're already getting wet. Oh, shit. Once it got dark, you hit a big turn and got smashed up. Yeah, that's what I'd be afraid of. It's just, like, getting started with everything, like, late and then it getting dark, and you're just, like, pretty much Scrooged. We're talking about Chip Chan. Further research has revealed that Chip Chan's real name is in fact Park Jae-on, and that she is a resident of Seoul, South Korea. Researchers were baffled by the fact that Chip Chan is somehow able to do nothing but surf the web, live stream, and sleep all day without any obvious income stream. But one correspondent claimed to have communicated with Chip Chan, asking after her financial situation. She told them that she did not have a job and was obviously unable to apply for or keep one due to her situation. However, she also told them that she was financially independent thanks to a large inheritance left to her by her parents when they died. Several theories have emerged from around the internet, speculating on exactly why Chip Chan is engaging in such bizarre and disturbing behavior. But the most commonly believed theory is that Chip Chan is suffering from a variety of mental illnesses. Many have pointed out that her behavior displays many symptoms of paranoia and paranoid schizophrenia. These include her paranoid delusions that almost anyone and everyone is acting in ways designed to cause her suffering. There is also the fact that she has become increasingly withdrawn from her family and friends, alienating them with accusations that they are part of P's network of informants. A common trait of paranoid schizophrenia, Chip Chan's declining health, is also a common symptom of paranoid delusion, since her mental state seems to have deteriorated to the point that she avoids any kind of self-grooming or self-care. However, criticism of such a theory is rife given that, in general, paranoid schizophrenics do not enjoy being watched in the least bit, and often go into hiding or seclude themselves to alleviate their suffering. Therefore, it would be highly unusual that a sufferer of such a mental illness would go about installing webcams all over their living space or opt to stream their lives in such a detailed, consistent way. People have also suggested that Chip Chan is suffering from narcolepsy, and that this is why she has such odd sleeping patterns and why she sleeps in such odd positions. For example, Chip Chan has been known to fall asleep lying on her back with her feet elevated on a nearby office chair. This would make circulation to her feet difficult and would cause painful pins and needles, which would in all likelihood wake her up. Yet, she still sleeps for more than 12 hours at a time. Chip Chan also complains that she does not dream, which is also a symptom of narcolepsy, since the condition interferes with the REM cycle required for dreams to occur. However, this theory has been ruled out by experts, who are quick to point out that suffering... Sucker Punch with another 10 buckaroonie says, as a Texan, I have a lot of experiences in tubing, And those tubes are tougher than they look, specifically in high current rivers, nothing like borderline rafting one afloat. Yeah, I feel like I'd much rather take, though, I mean, if I can trust that the river's going to take me where I'm trying to get in a reasonable period of time, I'd be more comfortable with it. But especially whenever the water starts to get very shallow, and I feel like you're like grinding your ass off the river floor, that kind of is unfortunate. And then if you get pulled into like a random like bushel of trees and shit, that would suck ass. And then I don't know, I just feel like with kayaking you at least have like control over where your body's going to go for the most part. After this story, I'm probably going to change the song because it's just like it's kind of interfering, I feel like, a little bit. However, this theory has been ruled out by experts who are quick to point out that people suffering from narcolepsy only tend to fall asleep for very brief periods of times, usually only minutes, while Chip Chan is able to sleep for unusually long amounts of time. As of now, it is still unclear just why Chip Chan is doing the things she does, and due to her unwillingness to seek any practical, tangible help, we may never know just what is going on inside her head. But one thing is clear. She obviously has a passionate belief in her own mistreatment at the hands of authority figures, to the point that she would allow her health and well-being to degenerate to dangerously low levels. It is entirely possible that someday soon, a user may tune into Chip Chan's stream to see her lying in one of those characteristically unusual positions. They will assume that she is sleeping, just like many have become accustomed to believing when, in fact, she has passed away, and the truth of her existence may well remain a mystery forever. Big Drunken Nemesis with the 5 says over 777 in the house, baby. I know, isn't that wild? It is getting more as time goes on, so thank you guys for being here. In the house. Narcolepsy? Narcolepsy is just like this uncontrolled ability where you just like fall asleep and like, you know, just mid-conversation, you just like pass out and fall asleep.
Hey, listen.
Though I think there's a lot more science behind it, like exactly what causes it. But there was, I forget what, it was like Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, if you guys ever remember that movie. But like the one girl had, you know, the girls just wanted to go out on dates and stuff like that. And one of them like had narcolepsy, and he would like tie, like she would just like suddenly fall and her face would go splat in like soup, in the soup that she was eating. And like he would like tie her ponytail to like a light fixture behind, and it would just like, you know, catch her head so she wouldn't like fall into her soup, which was funny. Oh, Leslie, you have narcolepsy. Uh-oh. That is cataplexy. Oh, you think Chip Chan had cataplexy? Or you have narcolepsy, and what I'm saying is different. I'm sorry. Pradeep's like clawing at something. I don't know what it is. Leslie, with the 15, says, I keep missing your lives. Happy to listen to you tonight, even if I'm late. No, it's okay. We're on just story 2 of 5. Well, actually, we're going on story 3 of 5. But I do find that these internet mysteries, or what do you guys think about the internet mysteries so far? I think they're pretty interesting. Yeah, Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo was really funny. I didn't know if they made like a second one or not, but another person from Chicago, huh? Chi-Town. Represent. Chip Chan couldn't get laid. I know it's an unfortunate thing. Alex said, Ayo Joseph, let Pradeep sniff the mic again, please. Okay. I wonder if you guys will be able to hear it. Just like gonked his head. Little poor baby. He's a little baby. Okay, he's gonna sniff the mic. Did you do it? Did you give it a sniff?
Hey, listen.
He's a good boy. Isn't it funny that like cats like always just like instinctively just sniff whatever you put them in front of? They're like, oh, what's this? Richie the Fam with the 5 says, had a friend in ROTC who would fall asleep mid-March. Poor guy. Ah, that's crazy. He is a loud snoot. Oh, did you hear it? Oh, nice. You guys heard it. That's cool. It's a kitty. Sniffers. Snifferliphagus. EJ, I'm very sorry to hear that. Okay, so Eloquent Tiger says, according to Mayo Clinic, narcolepsy is a chronic sleep disorder characterized by overwhelming daytime drowsiness and sudden attacks of sleep. Yeah. Wonder exactly what, like if it's like a hormone issue or something, like sudden release of like melatonin or other hormones. He said, I got something to say. Sniff, sniff. Okay, so this next one is 11BX1371. So it's kind of a weird number one, but I don't think I've ever heard of it before. In June of 2015, Swedish tech blog GadgetZZ.com received a package at their company offices. It was an envelope with no return address, originating from the city of Warsaw in Poland, and was addressed only to Johnny K., referring to Johnny Eric Krabickler. How the fuck do you say that name? Krabickler. Krabickler. It's like Krahbichler. John Eric Krabickler. I feel like that sounds about right. It sounds like an issue with their hypothalamus. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Referring to John Eric Krabickler, the founding editor of the company. Inside was a single DVD disc labeled with a long, seemingly meaningless string of letters and numbers. A company employee believed that was some kind of product key for a game or piece of software that the sender wished them to review. But when they put the DVD into their computer, all they found was a single video file. Expecting it to be some kind of Expecting it to be some kind of disguised malware, the employee ran a quick antivirus scan on it to ensure it was safe to access. When they discovered it was clean, they opened up the file and began to watch. What they saw sent shivers down their spines. The black and white video was no longer than 2 minutes in length. At first, it showed only a shadowy figure standing before 2 open windows set into the crumbling walls of an abandoned building. A dark, creepy-looking forest was visible through a hole in one of the walls behind him, skeletal, gnarled trees making for a deeply unnerving backdrop. Suddenly, the figure steps out from the shadows, a dim light revealing a person dressed in a 14th century plague doctor's costume. The kind with a goggled mask with a mouthpiece resembling a bird's beak, along with a long, dark, long-sleeved hooded cloak. The video was soundtracked by loud, jarring, buzzing noises as the plague doctor held up a single hand, a flashing light blinking out from his black-gloved palm. Then, as abruptly as it began, it suddenly ended, bearing no credits or claims of authorship. All who watched the video found it was disturbing as it was fascinating, but one particular company employee who watched it began to notice a series of codes and letters hidden all around the video. After a brief attempt to find the meaning behind such a mysterious video, he gave up and instead deferred to the internet, posting the video to a blog he ran, along with the images of the envelope the disc came in, as well as the disc itself. Soon, a Reddit user who had seen the post on the employee's blog found other coded messages hidden within the video. An encoded encryption on the DVD's menu was found to read 11BX1371, which has since been universally used as the title for the video. Others who analyzed the video slowed down the isolated audio track, told of being able to hear something that sounded like a voice saying, "I would love to kill you," being repeated over and over. An additional Reddit user worked on creating a spectrogram of the sound, a spectrogram being a visual representation of the spectrum of frequencies of a signal as it varies with time. He soon discovered a variety of both text messages and images concealed within the sound waves. These included a message in plain text stating, "You were already dead," but many others were encrypted and he was without the crypto... Sorry. There's so many words that are like borderline tongue twisties. Tongue twisties. Big drunken nemesis with a 2 says, boop. Are you gonna boop? Yeah. I'm gonna boop Pradeep on the nosy nose. And boop with the 2 says, every cat owner has the voice. It's adorable, I know. You kind of have to use it for him. These included a message in plain text stating, "You were already dead," but many others were encrypted and he was without the cryptology skills to decipher them. However, he was able to access some of the images concealed in the audio track. These images were incredibly disturbing. One depicted a woman, tied to a tree, who was being tortured and mutilated by an undiscernible figure wearing a dark mask. Another image depicted a visual still from the 2010 horror film The Bunny Game, in which a drug-addicted woman of the night named Bunny propositions a truck driver. He kidnaps her and subjects her to extreme torture, inflicting brutal, humiliating, and extreme forms of physical abuse. Additional images included stills from a German film called Slasher, a movie about a picnicking couple being murdered in a forest by a disfigured man, as well as an image of one of the Boston Strangler's female victims. This raised initial concerns that whoever had made the video was a serial killer, and that this was his way of leaving a kind of breadcrumb trail that might lead to their eventual capture. This was evidenced by the fact that a triangle and square message near the end of the video was found to read, "Ad opugner homin..." How the fuck do you say that? It's some Latin bullshit. 1 second. Ad opug... I don't know. How do you read Latin? How does it not even recognize? I put it into Google and it like doesn't exist. Let's see. Read Latin. Maybe you don't really know. Maybe there is no reading Latin. You just kind of give it a guess. You have feral kittens that you feed outside, and a possum and raccoon come once a week too. Oh, that's cute. Google Translate does Latin. Oops. 1 second. Copy. Pasty. Fuck.
Ad oppugnare homine.
Sounds cool, but it's ad oppugnare homine. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm just gonna take a wild slashing guess at it because I don't really know how to read Latin. It is a dead language, so we don't really... Yeah, Latin reads you. And I don't want to, like, summon some sort of demon. That would make it really awkward. If Pradeep were to just suddenly get possessed. Ad oppugnare hamine. Hamine. Hamine? Hamine? I don't know. Whatever. This was evidenced by the fact that a triangle and square message near the end of the video was found to read, "Ad oppugnare homine," Latin text which translated means to attack or target men. Another series of plain text messages led to even more disturbing theories surrounding the origin and purpose of the video. One read, "The infected eagle will spread his disease. We are the antivirus, will protect the world body." Along with another which read, "Strike an arrow through the heart of the eagle." Another sequence of 20 pairs of 2-digit characters was found to be the latitude and longitude of the White House, the seat of American power in Washington, D.C. This was accompanied by Morse code, which read, "Red lips like 10th." When it was decoded, One extremely disturbing cryptographer noted that this could possibly be an intended anagram for the words, "kill the president." The same user reported that a cipher in the video could be decoded to reveal the message, "Stand and fight with us, take down the beast, kill his disease or fall with the rest." The year, 1371, is also suggested was one in which the Black Death was ravaging Europe. This, coupled with the imagery of the plague doctor in the video, led other decoders to interpret the video's threats as related to bioterrorism. Early investigations soon found that John Eric Krobichler, I don't know how to say this fucking dude's name. It's so annoying. Can't we just have basic names like Schmidt and Johnson? Krobichler. Early investigations soon found that John Eric Krobichler was not the person to make the video public. In May of 2015, a YouTube account with the username AETBX had posted it to YouTube, and was the only video the account had ever posted. There it had been identified and described in binary code with a string of zeros and ones, as other users began commenting on it. AETBX returned to ask why there was suddenly so much interest in his 5-month-old posting. Some commenters speculated that he had actually created it himself, but the user vigorously denied that it was his creation. But in late November, after the intense rumors and initial speculation about the video, its creator and purpose had died down. A Twitter account was opened under the name Parker Warner Wright. He claimed to be a U.S. citizen who lives in Poland and that the videos were meant as an art project. After finishing the video in May 2015, he had left 3 copies, 2 on discs in a subway and park in Poland, and the last one posted to 4chan. While the identity of the video creator remained unknown, the location at which it was filmed had been identified. A Polish internet user who was following the story went to the former Zofiówka Sanatorium near Otwock. I don't know if I'm saying that right. God, everything's got a confusing pronunciation. Oh wow, we're almost at 900 people or now. Emily Grossman with the 2 says, "Get him a laser. Tell him I said pss, 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 and I love you." The pss, 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 pss is always something he responds to pretty quick. Pss, pss, pss. Not right now, though. He's in sleep mode. He's found a large stack of shirts. Hey, listen. Yes. Zofiówka Sanatorium near Otwock. Sounds pretty Polish, right? Oh, I summoned the devil with my Latin. Shit. Let's see. Pronounce that shit, homie G.
Zofiówka.
Oh. What?
Zofiówka.
Zofiówka? Interesting. Whatever. We're rolling with it. Sounded right. A Polish internet user who was following the story went to the former Zofiówka Sanatorium near Otwock, a short distance south of Warsaw. One of the rooms there had the same kind of forest nearby, along with the same graffiti seen in the video. The latter were not present in a photo of the room taken in November 2013, suggesting the video was made between then and April of 2015. Given that Parker Wright was living in Poland at the time, this makes him one of the more likely claimants to being the video's creator. But despite him being the most likely person to have posted it, Parker Wright was not the only person on the internet actively claiming the same thing at the time, and throughout the last months of the year the video was posted, others posted their own videos in an attempt to authenticate themselves as the video's true creator. So it is frankly impossible to determine whether or not it was simply an attempt to... Sorry. For some reason these last few sentences hurt my mind as I'm reading. Daleen Gillette with a 5 says, "Thank you for all the relaxing stories." You are welcome. Thank you for the 5. Thank you, thank you. Pickle and mustard soda, Alex? Hell yeah, dude.
Hey, listen.
So it is frankly impossible to determine whether or not it was simply an attempt to keep him to promote his wider work through fraudulently claiming to have made the video himself, We may never know who truly posted the video known as 11BX1371, or what their true intentions or motives were, but I just hope that they're not still out there, plotting their strike against humanity that in all likelihood may well come in the form of a deadly, infectious disease. Bum bum bum. Am I the alien ghost from Scooby-Doo? No, but I thought that before, long ago. I thought about using that as like my avatar. I thought it was pretty cool though. And I like stumbled across it like after the fact. Well, did that turn out to be a, like some of the, isn't it convenient that like a group of teenagers, you know, getting high in a van all day with a talking dog, like just so happened to like coincidentally stumble across the exact criminals that have decided to wear monster costumes to do their crimes. Like, just seems really convenient. Hey, listen. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you now? You're late for work. You're 2 hours late. You were smoking crack last night, yeah. Alright, my friends. So this is going to be story number 4 of 5, and this is called UFO Evidence. Do you guys remember that thing on, it was like, I remember like when it went around like the strange, the weird sides of YouTube and places like that, but apparently there was supposedly an image that popped up on 4chan that was said to have been like a reptilian, an image of like a reptile person, you know? And they said it was like, it looked like incredibly real and scary or something, and then it was like very shortly deleted off afterwards or something like that. But I don't know. That's pretty much it. I don't really feel like it's that exciting. And obviously nowadays with Photoshop you can pretty much make anything look badass and real, but I just thought it was it like went around for a little bit. Like people were like, dude, there was like this picture that was on 4chan and then it got deleted. Do you think it was a lizard man? Maya B with a 5 says, have a good night, Joel. Thank you for another stream. Love you. Thank you, Maya. Love you as well. Hope you have a good sleepers. You want me to read you the phone book? Where should I start? The A's, B's, C's, Z's, Q's, or flus? It was me in my furry alien costume. Once again, getting caught. It's not a reptile, it's Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus. Yeah, no lizard men allowed here. Gary McKinnon. Okay. Back in 2002, a Scottish man named Gary McKinnon was living and working in London as a systems administrator for a large software company. He was a quiet man and suffered from several depressive illnesses, including Asperger's syndrome. But despite this, Gary was very, very good at his job and proved to be a valuable asset to his employees. Yet Gary McKinnon was busy working on other things too, things that led to a knock on his door on the 19th of March 2002. It was the police. Gary was arrested and interviewed under caution, and it was after this interview that his computer was seized by the British authorities. He was interviewed again on the 8th of August, only this time by the United Kingdom's National High-Tech Crimes Unit. The charges against Gary McKinnon were massive. He has been accused of hacking into almost 100 United States military and NASA workers over a 13-month period between February of 2001 and the time of his arrest. By using a simple dial-up connection at the house of his girlfriend's aunt in London and using the name hacker's pseudonym Solo, Gary shut down the United States Army's Military District of Washington network of 2,000 computers for more than 24 hours. However, what really drew the ire of the U.S. military was that in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks in New York City, McKinnon erased weapons logs at the Earl Naval Weapons Station in New Jersey, rendering hundreds of U.S. military computers inoperable. This effectively paralyzed munitions supply deliveries for the U.S. Navy's Atlantic Fleet, and it was said to have caused almost $1 million in damages. McKinnon was also accused of copying top-secret data, account files, and passwords onto his own computer over in London. McKinnon had admitted that he obtained unauthorized access to computer systems in the United States, but has since stated that his reason for doing so are not what the U.S. authorities made them to be. After a meeting at the Washington Press Club on the 9th of May 2001, he had told a gathering of journalists that his motivation for hacking into the military's computer systems was to find and expose evidence of extraterrestrial visitation, anti-gravity technology, and the suppression of what is known as free energy. The free energy theory is the idea that technologically viable, pollution-free, non-cost energy sources are being suppressed by the government, corporations, or advocacy groups. The free energy theory is the idea that technologically viable, pollution-free, no-cost energy sources are being suppressed by government, corporations, or advocacy groups. Devices allegedly suppressed include perpetual motion machines, cold fusion generators, Torah space generators, reverse-engineered extraterrestrial technology, and other low-cost energy sources, the application of which could change human lives. Fucking Jesus Christ, sorry. There's so many big words. I can't read all these big words. Angel Killer, what's good? You have a face only an uncle could love. That's good. I'm glad Uncle loves you. The application of which could change human civilization as we know it. McKinnon believed the fact that the United States had come down so heavily on him seeking his extradition was evidence enough that such technology existed and was being kept secret to keep humanity in a permanent state of essentially being wage slaves. If extradited to the U.S. and charged, McKinnon would have faced up to 70 years in jail and could have possibly been sent to Guantanamo Bay to live out his sentence. In an interview televised on the BBC's Click program, McKinnon shit on live TV. In an interview televised on the BBC's Click program, McKinnon stated that he believed wholeheartedly in a group known as the Disclosure Project. He told an interview that they were made up of some extremely credible, high-profile individuals who all confirmed that UFO technology had been obtained and put to use by secretive divisions of the U.S. military. He referred to the Roswell incident of 1947, asserting that the United... What? Sorry, this sentence is really confusing it. He referred to the Roswell incident of 1947, asserting that the United that indeed acquired... Oh, probably the United States, and it just typed in that. I see, my mistake. Carrie! With the 5 beaver bucks. Thank you, Carrie. And welcome. I apologize if we're getting in here a little bit late, since this is the 4th of the 5 internet mysteries. You guys stand with McKinnon? Have you ever heard of this guy? Jesus Christ is here. Knock, knock. You're sad to see Mick Gordon gone from Doom. Who is Mick Gordon? Is he a composer or something? I remember there was like some controversy related to like the composers within the game, that they like underutilized his work or something of that nature, like didn't utilize as much of his like music as you would anticipate. You know what's kind of interesting? I took that the electrolyte capsule and with some water, and my fingers feel pretty good now, actually. No more tangles. He referred to the Roswell incident of 1947, asserting that the United States indeed had acquired and reverse engineered. Why is it? He referred to the Roswell incident of 1947, asserting that the United States had indeed acquired and reverse engineered alien technology and used it to develop anti-gravity technology along with devices that produced safe, clean, and infinite amounts of raw energy. McKinnon also stated that he had taken the advice of a NASA fuck. Zach with the 5 Buckaroo says, "Love your work. You do more for me than you'll ever know." Oh, thank you, Zach. You are welcome, and thank you for the 5. Judith, hello. Brittany, you're going to do your nails? What are you going to do to them? Make them extra long so you can tear out some eyeballs? You're kind of obsessed with the Bob Lazar stuff. Yeah, I remember seeing a little bit about Bob Lazar, but I don't know a whole lot. I remember hearing that, like, what is it? They just mentioned it here. The anti-gravity stuff. When I looked up that stuff in the past, they pretty much discussed the anti-gravity, and I'm sure maybe it's different for different presentations of technology. I'm not really sure, but like basically the anti-gravity they discussed involved like using sound waves, so like reverse, almost like reverse vibrations, so that kind of like negated, I don't know, something about the sound waves was able to like separate the atoms from one object and another, and then you could easily move them from place to place with essentially no energy at all. And I was like, that seems pretty neat. You just gotta have the right beat and bass, man. Do you ever see those videos of like when they play certain music and there are particular waves that they make, it like causes molecules and or like sand and stuff like that to take on different shapes and stuff, which I think is really neat. Element 15. Number element 15. Reverse vibrator, yes. McKinnon also stated that he had taken the advice of a NASA photographic expert and investigated the databanks of the Johnson Space Center's Building 8. There he had found evidence that images were being regularly cleansed of evidence which proved the existence of an alien spacecraft. There were multiple copies of some photographs, some of which showed bizarrely shaped aircrafts and other identical photos in which such aircraft had been scrubbed from the images. He said he was sure that such aircraft was definitely nothing that humanity were capable of producing, even using the most advanced technology, claiming to have seen bizarre, cigar-shaped crafts floating above the northern hemisphere. The only reason he did not use screen capture programs to record these images was because he claimed to be so awestruck with what he was seeing that he simply forgot to do so. By the time he thought to do so, his invasive presence on their servers had been detected, and he was forced to sever his connection to the databanks. In October of 2012, acting British Home Secretary Theresa May announced to Parliament that McKinnon's extradition to the U.S. had been blocked, saying that the Director of Public Prosecutions would determine whether McKinnon should face the trial before a British court. Then just a few months later, then Director of Public Prosecutions and current Labour Party leader Sir Keir... I have to say this name right, or people in the UK are going to give me shit for saying it wrong. Oops, sorry, I screamed into a mic there. Sorry. Quirky girl. Hey, darling, been missing your live reads and your voice. Glad I'm here. Glad you're here too, Quirky girl. Thank you for the 5. All right, guys, how do I say... It's Keir space Starmer. I just want to make sure that I say it right. So, and he's a sir. He must have had the queen place her long sword on his shoulders. Oh, it's got 8. Okay, cool.
Keir Starmer.
Keir. Okay, that sounds fair. Keir. The Death Starmer. Okay, Then just a few months later, then Director of Public Prosecutions and current Labour Party leader Sir Keir Starmer announced that McKinnon would not be prosecuted in the United Kingdom because of the difficulties involved in bringing a case against him when all of the relevant evidence was in the United States. Essentially, Gary McKinnon was off the hook. Shit, my voice like cracked. Almost at 1,000 again, I know. Can we get there before the last story? That would be dope. Essentially, Gary McKinnon was off the hook. But the question remains, was McKinnon telling the truth about what he'd seen whilst hacking into top-secret U.S. government computer files, or was it all a cover for the very real crimes of his cyber attacks on the American military? Regardless, statements by McKinnon sound alarmingly specific and detailed, and would take an extremely imaginative fantasist. The only bad thing, like, I love Pradeep, but, like, anytime I, like, snuggle with him, like, I swear to God, his hairs just, like, linger. They linger in my fucking nose, like almost like they crawl up in there and just, like, linger around. And especially while I'm, like, recording, I'm, like, pressing them directly into my nose or something. Maybe it's my own nose hairs, who knows, but I swear to God, like, his hairs just, like, find a way to, like, caught my beard and then, like, crawl up into my nose and just, like, make me want to sneeze. Jaden, thank you. What's Doomslayer saying? BFG division. Fried pickles or onion rings? I guess fried pickles sounds pretty good, but I hate whenever I eat those, like, things and then the whole thing just, like, falls out of the deep fried dough. This is just stupid. I gotta vacuum pretty deep, I know. I have one of those gloves that, like, you've seen, it's got, like, a bunch of, like, little phalange tentacle type things, like, it's, like, made of plastic. It almost looks like a cooking glove, but then you just, like, rub it on the cat and it, like, just, like, picks up lots and lots of hair, but he just freaking loves that thing, and it does, like, groom him pretty good. Imaginative fantasist. Okay. Regardless, statements by McKinnon sound alarmingly specific and detailed, and it would take an extremely imaginative fantasist to have come up with such stories. Not to mention that the extremely harsh punishment sought out by the United States justice system only lends weight to the idea that he most definitely saw things that they didn't want any other living soul to see. We may never know the truth of the matter, and we can only continue to speculate at the wider conspiracy at work. Do I use it on myself? No, I don't think I have enough hair. Maybe on my back or something like that. Maybe Pradeep will use it on me sometime. Or if anybody volunteers. He's so funny. He jumps down next to me, does a long stretch, and then he just collapses. He just wants some, he wants to be squished. He wants to be squishied. You must squish the cat. You love some ketchup and dryer sheets. I could use some dryer sheets right now, honestly, for my laundry. Didn't have any. Bloody Jensen. Is Jensen here? Also, yeah, hopefully after this, if Jensen streams, you guys can head over there and say hello to him. Ron with the 5 says, got stood up tonight, pissed I missed most of my streams for nothing. Damn, dude, fuck that guy and or girl. I don't know what, but what the hell? What are they doing? They probably got too high. They got all sorts of flumped up. Very disrespectful. But I'm sorry. We can have a date right here. So what are you into? On November the 10th, 2014, YouTuber Kenny Veach set off on his last hike. He'd informed some close relatives that he was going on a short overnight trip into the desert near Area 51, but it was one from which he would never return. Yet Kenny was hardly an inexperienced desert hiker or spelunker, and had ventured into the arid, dry deserts of Nevada many times before. He claimed to have hiked solo across mountaintops that many people would have never dared to attempt, and had lost count of the number of caves that he had explored. But there was one particular cave that had terrified the veteran explorer, It was during an additional visit to that particular subterranean cavern that he disappeared without a trace. As I've stated, Kenny was no amateur. He had been hiking and caving for 20 plus years, having encountered all sorts of life-threatening dangers on his travels, from sheer cliffs and animal traps to rattlesnakes and freezing conditions. Kenny had faced some of the most terrifying threats the nature world. I don't know why that sounded so weird. The nature world. Oh, Pradeep, what are you doing? The nature world. Kenny had faced some of the most terrifying threats the world of nature has to offer. But he always made it back. He always got himself out of whatever jam he was in. He might have returned beat up and exhausted from his trips, but only once was he ever forced to call for help. In an incident in which he'd hurt his leg on a mountaintop and was forced to call in a helicopter rescue. So it is well documented that he had an excellent safety record and was in no way reckless or foolish. One day, while Kenny was out exploring the desert near Nellis Air Force Base, he came across a cave system with an entrance shaped like a perfect capital M. Kenny entered every cave he came across, and naturally, he was even more curious about this one given its unusual shape. But on his approach, he found a strange feeling taking over his body, a bizarre vibrating feeling that shook him to his bones. The closer he got to the cave's entrance, the more intense this feeling became, until it was so strong that he became intensely terrified, fleeing the area without even attempting to explore it. He posted a YouTube video under the username Snakebite McGee, which was titled Son of an Area 51 Technician. This video detailing the events, telling his viewers that it was by far the strangest experience that he had ever had whilst out hiking in the desert, and so began one of Nevada's most peculiar and puzzling urban legends. Obviously, the video sparked a huge amount of interest from his subscribers. A multitude of users enthusiastically encouraged Kenny to return to the cave to properly explore it, and to properly document its appearance and location as to provide proper evidence of his strange and terrifying discovery. Naturally, he obliged them. On this second trip to the M-shaped cave, Kenny armed himself with a 9mm pistol, along with a video camera so that he might show his subscribers exactly what he'd seen. However, much to the disappointment and skepticism of the YouTube community, Kenny couldn't seem to be able to retrace his steps to the cave's... I hope I didn't miss a donation there. I thought somebody did, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't. No, we're good. Sorry. Oh man, we are almost at 1,000. Can we get there before the end? Though I do feel bad for those that would arrive at such a monumentous occasion only to... We've got a little bit left to go for the story, though. And I can obviously chat with y'all. However, much to the disappointment and skepticism of the YouTube community, Kenny couldn't seem to be able to retrace his steps to the cave's location. Some called him out as having lied about what he'd seen, calling him a fraud and a fabricator. However, in the video itself, Kenny is visibly shaken that he can't seem to locate what he'd easily stumbled across during his previous visit. His experience with hiking and navigation meant that he'd have no trouble finding it again if he wished to do so, and we can understand why people might think that that made him a liar. But Kenny insisted that it was like his mind was playing tricks on him, and rebuked any who accused him of having made the story up. To save face, Kenny vowed to go back out into the desert a third time, in order to prove he was not simply lying about the whole thing. This seemed to satisfy the doubters and reassure his regular viewers, all except one. No, do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, do not go in, you won't get out, read one user's comments on the video posted. Other commenters asked them exactly what they meant by the plea, imploring them to share what knowledge they had of the cave that would cause them to leave such a stark warning, and the user never replied. Even in spite of the warning, Kenny was undeterred. He was determined to prove that he was not a liar, determined to prove that his hiking and navigating skills weren't slipping. At some point, he posted a comment telling his viewers that he was making a third trip to the Mojave, one of the hottest and driest regions on the planet, in order to finally relocate the cave and to explore it. He told viewers that although he was not taking his video camera for mobility's sake, he would be making a detailed record of the cave's location so that he and his subscribers could easily find the M cave for themselves, for the sake of making their own judgments. Viewers awaited his return with bated breath, thrilled at the prospect of more information on a place that could well be connected with nearby Area 51, or at least have some kind of extraterrestrial or paranormal significance. Since Kenny would be making an overnight trip, they knew that they would have to wait until the following day for a new post from their favorite desert explorer. But the day came and nothing was posted. Then another day went by and still nothing was posted on Kenny's YouTube channel regarding the M Cave. Eventually, concerned viewers alerted local authorities that Kenny might well be in some danger, and after the mandatory 72-hour period, Kenny Veach was officially listed as a missing person, and the search for him began. On the 22nd of November 2014, search and rescue volunteers found Kenny's cell phone lying in the dirt at the entrance to an abandoned mine shaft. This was the same mine shaft featured during the video entitled M Cave Hike, Kenny's second trip into the desert, in which he filmed himself being able to locate the cave entrance, much to his unable to locate. Hey, oh my goodness, Crow, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you for the 20 buckaroonies. Says, I'm really glad I came across your videos. Also, pickles are gross. That's funny. Yes, I can imagine why. Oh yes, we have arrived at 1,000 viewers. Guys, thank you. Round of applause for all of you for being there with me. Yeah, let's get to 1 million next, you know? I wonder what's the most amount of, like, live stream viewers ever present in a live stream on really any service. That would be quite interesting. But thank you, Crow, for the 20. That's very generous of you. Thank you, thank you. I might start the story actually out with this story, or the video out with this story, because I feel like this is pretty creepy. Pickle cult strong. Caw. This was the same mine shaft featured during the video entitled M Cave Hike, Kenny's second trip into the desert, in which he filmed himself being unable to locate the cave entrance, much to his own anxious confusion. The search and rescue volunteers superficially explored the bottom of the shaft, but could not find Kenny or his body. Yet, there was no other trail leading from the cave that would indicate that Kenny had headed off in any other direction. To the volunteers, it seemed like he had just straight up disappeared, plucked from the face of the earth by some unknown, unseen force. Additional rescue teams were called in. Additional rescue teams were called in from surrounding areas, and on the advice of Kenny's girlfriend and some time hiking. Additional rescue teams were called in from surrounding areas, and on the advice of Kenny's girlfriend and sometime hiking partner, they found his truck in its usual parking spot. But again, Kenny was nowhere to be found, and any trails they found went cold near the abandoned mine shaft. Kenny's sudden disappearance fueled all manner of conspiracy theories which speculated on his fate. Some insisted that Kenny had fallen down the mine shaft, even in spite of the search and rescue team's insistence that there was no corpses to be found down there. Others asserted that Kenny had found a hidden entrance to... Others asserted that Kenny had found a hidden entrance to Area 51, or had come across some kind of military secret that led to him being detained by the U.S. military, while more outlandish theories abounded that the M Cave was some kind of extraterrestrial structure, and that Kenny had either been abducted or killed by visitors from other worlds. It is most likely that Kenny simply fell victim to the elements, went a bridge too far in his search for the truth, and had died of dehydration or heart stroke. But if that was the case, there is very little doubt that his body would not be found and recovered by the search. Wait, sorry, that sounded really confusing. But if that was the case, there is very little doubt that his body would not be found and recovered. Oh, I see. Okay. But if that was the case, there is very little doubt that his body would not be found and recovered by the search and rescue teams, who at one point used a helicopter to scour the area for any signs of him. But a post from Kenny's girlfriend in the months that followed his disappearance might shed a little more light on what became of him. She mentioned that her boyfriend had been battling with depression for many years by that point, and that he may well have gone out into the disaster. She mentioned that her boyfriend had been battling with depression for many years by that point, and that he may well have gone out into the desert one last time to end his own life. At least, that's the only logical explanation she could think of. Yet as much as we can rely on her for an insight into his personality, it ties into our previous point that surely someone somewhere would have found his body. We might never learn the truth of Kenny Veach's, yeah. We might never... Rest in peace, Kenny. We might never learn the truth of Kenny Veach's fate, but if we can learn anything from his disappearance, it's that it would be extremely unwise to go looking for that M-shaped cave. Honestly, I think that was like the creepiest one out of all of them, just because, I don't know, it seemed like just the sort of like ambiguous ties to like something scary, unless he like wanted to generate. Jensen, this is true. They killed Kenny, you bastards. I hope not. I hope maybe Kenny's out there just vlogging on another alien planet somewhere now. Sorry, I just had to send a message, but we are good to go for the collaboration with. It's actually we got quite a few good collaborations coming up here with some paranormal stories with Slapped Ham, and some Australian stories with Mr. B. Buster. So I guess that's not an Australian accent, but you get the idea. So it's going to be pretty lit here in the next couple of weeks as far as collaborations go, which I hope you guys will look forward to that. Clickety-clack. Look who's back. When is the collaboration? It's kind of up in the air right now. Just kind of got the stories, the paranormal one sent over to Slap Time, and then the Australian one sent over to Busta. So just kind of like, they're probably pretty quick with it and stuff. So I imagine we will be making that happen pretty soon. The pickles and the butter socks unite. Well, my friends, we have reached that was the final. I mean, I thought all of those were really well written, really cool, really interesting. I don't know what you guys thought. I think most of that vibe still like exists within the realm of like what you would consider Let's Read content. So my hope is that it, definitely attracts, the subscribers that are already here, so it can, have kind of a burst of, basically how YouTube works is it will send your video out to like some of your most devoted subscribers, and if you miss a notification, just know that new videos are always out Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, just so you got a vibe on that. And once it gets sent out to them, it gauges the interest in like the current subscribers, and then it determines whether it should send it out to more people. And that are not, subscribers, or additionally other subscribers as well. Which is kind of an unfortunate system, but I guess it makes sense. It's just trying to like gauge whether everything's pretty good, But yeah, so since this is kind of venturing into new content per se, I still think it's definitely hits the same sort of like niche that my content normally hits. But I would definitely appreciate if you guys checked out this video tomorrow. Once I get that edited, it'll be up first on Patreon, of course, for only $1 a month. You can get early access and download the audio for that, and all that good stuff. But I will be reading the outro here if you guys want to think of something hilarious. And I don't know if one of the mods has a link to the Discord. Maybe you could get people into the Discord here. Beep bop boop bop ba dip bop bop. Keep the silk in your voice. I shall. I will not be removing that anytime soon. Lord willing. Lord willing. Can I do stories from other countries? Yeah. Like I said, doing that Australian stories with Be Busted. It's going to be litty titty. Also, I've kind of changed up the way I do some collabs where basically I read a story rather than like going back and forth reading stories. I have whoever's collabing just read like one story. Like I read one and then they just read one story, usually the second one, and then I read the remainder of the stories. And to me, I just feel like that's better because sometimes people, they want to hear the new person, but I think really all it takes is like one story for people to determine whether or not, that narrator is someone they want to subscribe to, rather than kind of inundating them with like too much of them throughout the video, you know what I mean? Because obviously if you want to listen to the more of them, all you have to do is just go over to their YouTube channel where there's hours and hours of content. And oh my goodness, thank you, Brittany, with the 20 buckaroo says, thanks for the stories. You are greatly appreciated. Love you. Thank you, Brittany. Love you as well. I will be reading this out Trizio here. Immortal's never satisfied. And thank you guys for helping me reach 1,000 viewers again tonight. That's ballin' as shit. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. And if you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let's Read Official, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data on your phone, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, bonk. Bonk, go to horny jail. Maybe I should say something else. Read the back of a shampoo bottle at least. If I had one, do I have anything with ingredients? I have a Glade sprayer I could probably read here for you guys. Most of it's in, looks like most of it's in, Ecuadorian. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, manage my way through that, if you know what I mean. Collab with Jensen, who said that? Jensen, we collabed before, but I'm always down for another one. You go based off my Twitter, yeah. Yeah, that's probably some of the best places to get notifications is Twitter, Instagram. Like, Instagram's kind of like more of like a larger announcements, but Twitter I can like do more on the fly stuff. So like definitely follow my Twitter at Let's Read Creepy, just because I can like share links on there a lot easier. Whereas like Instagram I can share about like when videos are coming out and stuff like that, but it's a little bit more inconvenient to do all the other stuff. Take your electrolyte capsules. Read my meth cooking instructions. Oh, that's a secret family recipe. I'd hate to blow that one up. Steve Harrington with a 5 says, thanks, Joel. Have a great night. Thanks, Steve. Same to you, my friend. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 5. And remember, I'm your daddy. Do you think me saying I'm your daddy would creep people out? If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with buttersalcothelioma.
Hey, listen.
Thanks so much, friends. And remember, I'm Your daddy. Oh, God. I can already see the hundreds of people that are unsubscribing because of that. They're like, that's disgusting, let's read. That's disgusting. That's so gross. That's so creepy. Oh my God, that's so creepy. I felt violated by your words. Oh my God. Asher with the 5 says, have a good night. The videos are lit. Thank you, Asher. Thank you. And Crow with $3 says, good night, everyone. Good night to you guys. Yeah, so once again, thank you. I believe Jensen is going to continue to stream, and he's hilarious and an amazingly talented narrator as well. A little bit of an after party going on over there, so if Jensen wants to link his YouTube channel, I would love for you guys to head over there and subscribe to him and show him some love while he does what he does best.
Hey, listen.
Baby girl. But until we meet again, friends, this, like I said, will be out first on Patreon, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Shy and Dory Bob with the 2 says, remember to butter your socks or you get the bonk. You know what? I might just do that one. And remember to butter your socks or get the bonk. Like slightly less creepy. Oh, shit. All right, my friends. I will see y'all again soon. Peace out, Girl Scout.